Ready?
Yep.
A body out loud.
Hey, Firefighter John here.
Firefighter Jason.
And like we promised from the last episode, we're going to show you Emerson Station out here at Cook's Corner off of Bath Road.
This is our substation that serves the more north side of town. We're standing here in front of our monument. This is dedicated to all the firefighters that have served this community in the past years.
So let's go around to the other side, because this would be considered the front side of the building, but we'll show you how we actually get into the building on the back side. So we've come around to the technically front side of the station, even though it's on the back. We're right in front of the CMP building, but as you come around and use our parking lot, here is our main entrance door. If you can knock, but it's kind of like broken up in there. So we've got a call button here that rings through to our phone system. So if you have to, you can just push that. And when we pick up the phone inside, we'll be able to communicate with you and we can come to the door and meet with you. So let's go on inside and we'll take a look at what we've got in here. We've got a bunch of antiques, and then we can show you what apparatus that we have out here.
Okay, so here we are just inside of our main entrance at Emerson Station. And this is a cabinet that we keep a lot of antiques, things from the past. We have a lot of old helmets in here, one of our first thermal imaging cameras, some old pictures. And down here we have a lot of our old bugles, because now we use radios to communicate back and forth. But before radios, a lot of times a fire officer would have a bugle so he could shout orders to the firefighters on the scene.
And these are actually a couple of 100 years old. And they're actually trophies for when they had actual, what they call fireman's musters. So these were actually trophies for the best team that was chosen to win that time. And that's what they would do, is actually yell through it, and it would amplify on the fire scene. So I don't get in trouble with the chief. You didn't see that. Now the TIC, we just put this in here, the thermal imaging camera. We've got some new, more modern ones. This one is probably about 15 to 20 years old. And we figured it's an artifact for, our time in the fire service. And then as we back up in time, we have the actual ticker machine that when you pulled an actual fire alarm on a street corner, it would tick away the code on this, the ticker tape paper, and they would actually read out, and it would show them what street corner and what district that they had to respond to a fire or an emergency in. And then on the other side, we've got one of the actual street boxes that we could actually show you. So these are very heavy cast iron, and inside you just open the door and pull the handle and it would start that ticker tape back at the station. And then last but not, I won't touch the old fire helmets because they're so brittle that the leather is kind of like as fragile as paper. So we won't pull those out. But if you stop by here, we can always show you those things and go over them.
Okay, so here we have our old bell. This bell used to sit on top of our old ladder trucks. We no longer have a ladder truck, we have what we call a tower truck, and we'll explain that difference to you in a few minutes. But this used to sit on top of the ladder trucks, and now it's retired and it sits in here, right in the front entryway, and it's kind of a memento of the past. Okay, so now we're in our training room. The training room is a very important room in a fire station because a big part of our job is training, not only to keep up our skills, but to also discuss new skills that develop over time. We do daily meetings. We do daily and weekly trainings and even monthly trainings, both for fire and for the medical side of our jobs.
This is also Emergency Operations Center, so we can actually bring in EMA, a bunch of fire chiefs, police chiefs, and stuff like that, and we can set different tables up all along the walls. We got a large screen TV, we got overhead projector here, and we can actually track what's going on throughout the town, the county, whatever needs to happen. This will be like the brain of that communication center. So I think now we'll take a look and we'll start showing other parts of this building. So that way you know it's a fully functional fire station and we live here for 24 hours just like at Central. All right, now we're in the kitchen for Emerson Station. Like we said over at Central, we stay here 24 hours, so we have to eat, live, everything else in here. So as you can see, we've got a similar stove, oven set as Central. We got a few more noisemakers here. We got an ice maker that's always going on. That's probably what you're going to hear in the hum in the background. And then, like at Central, we've got a couple of large refrigerators that are broken up by 2 crews per. So we've got places to put our cold stuff, ice creams, or anything like that. And then we've got a whole bunch of lockers over there set up, divided by each crew.
Yeah, and you know, there's a different crew out here, and just like at Central, some crew members are really good cooks, some maybe not so much, but everybody tries to pitch in and help with the daily cleaning and cooking and everything that needs to be done.
So let's go take a look at the day room, because
Okay.
everybody's so excited about that.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Okay, so now we're going to show you our day room. This is a room that if we have a few minutes between chores and training, we can go to relax. So follow me.
Oh, what the?
Oh, wait a second. Sparky. Sparky. Sparky, wake up. Hey, it's the middle of the day and there's chores to be done, okay? Not a time for a nap right now, okay? Come on, let's go. Okay, so apparently we woke Sparky up, but here we are in our day room. Like I said, we have a TV in here, we have a couch and some recliners, and you know, when we have a few minutes we can sit down. Sometimes we actually have meetings and trainings in here, and we can come here and do our reports and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let's go take a look at some of the other things down this hallway.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right. All right, and just across the hall from our day room, we've got a small gym that we can work out, exercise, we can do some weightlifting, bench presses, we've got a treadmill behind the camera, we've got a rowing machine, and we got a whole bunch of free weights in here. So we can keep entertained all we want until that next rescue call or fire call comes in, then we're gonna jump right into our gear and head out to help you.
And like I said before, it is very important for us firefighters to maintain our physical fitness. So this is a great place to do it.
Oh yeah,
All
definitely.
right, so you want to head down the hall to the living
Yeah,
quarters?
let's go show them some
Okay.
of the other places.
Come on this way.
All right.
Okay, so now we're down here in our living quarters. This is where all our bunk rooms are. We have 4 bunk rooms. And let's go in here and we'll check out one of the bunk rooms. Hey, here's Sparky again napping. John, didn't we just wake him up in the day room?
Yes. It's like kicking an old dog to the curb. He just keeps showing up everywhere.
Sparky, Sparky, what are you, sleepy today? Remember, it's the middle of the day. We got some chores to do, so let's do those first, then you can get a nap in, okay?
But we also recently moved our workstations in here so that way we're not so disruptive to each other. So when the guys go out and do an EMS call, they can sit down here and do the reports for that and then go right to the rack afterwards. And then in each one of these, divided up by the 4 crews, is the person who's living in this room for the next month or 2. They have their stuff and their bedding in here as well, uniforms and such. So that way it's confined to this room. They come to work, they change for work, and then as the day goes on, they can make their bed, and then we'll be out for the next 24 hours until the next call comes in. And then that way, if they need to, they can take a shower right across the hallway, come in and change into a nice clean uniform, and get ready for the next call. So if you want, we can check out what, probably the bays, I'm guessing?
Yeah, let's go out and see some of the equipment that we use now. All right?
Hopefully we don't find Sparky snoozing anywhere again.
Right, okay. Come on with us. Okay, so we're still here in our living quarters, and now we're going to walk into our apparatus bay. So this gives you an idea. The bunk rooms are right there. So in the middle of the night, if we are sleeping and we get a call, we basically just have to get up out of bed, get dressed, and we walk from our room right out into the apparatus bay. So come on, let's go.
So here on the Apparatus Bay at Emerson Station, we do have two more of the same rescues like we went over. We got Rescue 1 up front, and then back here we got Rescue 3. But let's go show you what's, since we went over those over Central, we'll show you the specialty trucks we have out here. We got the big tower truck and the squad truck. Let's go take a look, Jason.
All right, let's head this way.
So we're out here, we're taking a look, and this is one of our biggest pieces on the department. This is our tower truck, known as Tower 1. And since you didn't get to see all this stuff with our fire truck visit for the school year, because it got closed down, we figured we'd bring you to the fire truck. So let's take a look. And Jason, you got some stuff on this thing.
Yeah, so this is a 100-foot tower truck. So that means that when we get on scene, we can get up into the bucket up here that's on the end of the ladder. The ladder will raise and extend out 100 feet, which is really high up in the air.
It moves pretty good, and it sprays water out of it. So like the other day, we were doing some training, and if we turn the nozzle one way, it moves the whole ladder the other. We go back and forth. Some of the guys, it's kind of scary for them because it's the first time being up there. But like I said, we've got a lot of compartments, a lot of tools on this thing, so let's go ahead and take a look at this thing, and then we'll pique your interest.
Okay. Okay, so like we said, this is a tower truck, but it also acts as an engine, so it has a lot of the things that our engines have. This is our pump panel. This truck actually has a lot of pumping capability. So this is a 2,000 gallon per minute pump. Look at it as this would pump a swimming pool amount of water in like 5 minutes, okay? So it can really put a lot of water on a fire. It has pre-connected hand lines just like an engine. So right here, you see Firefighter John peels back that cover, and we have all our pre-connected hand lines right here. So in the event we do have a fire, we can just reach up, grab the nozzle, and pull the line right out and be ready to put out fire.
But Firefighter Jason, you want to show us what's really cool in that thing?
Yeah, so here we have some like really big chainsaws. These might be a little different than what you might find in your dad's shed. They are specially made to cut big holes in roofs if we have to get smoke out of a building and we have to create a vent, as we say, because a lot of times a tower truck or an aerial truck, that's their job, is to vent and get smoke out of a building. So we have these great big chainsaws that are really good for cutting a hole really fast in a roof, all right? Firefighter John's gonna show you a special saw that we have. This can cut things like steel or even bricks or block.
This one's got a big round cutting blade on it. So this one can actually, we can set it up to cut concrete, basically padlocks off of steel doors, or the whole steel door itself. So it's got a lot of tools and a lot of different uses for all of them. I'll put this back. I'll let you throw that, and then I'll put that clamp back on. Well, let's go ahead and take a look around the rest of the truck, because there's still a lot of interesting things on there. All right. All right, so the other side of the truck, we've got a lot more things in each one of these compartments. They're kind of boring, but you know, it's for different things. Up in here, we've got Water salvage, because part of a ladder company, we have to be able to go in and get water out after we fought a fire, or if somebody has a ruptured pipe or anything like that. So we have these things, it's basically shop vacs, back vacs they call them. We put those on those backs and it sucks the water right up. We've got some sump pumps and water rescue stuff, all kinds of stuff in here. Still kind of boring for you guys, so I'll let Firefighter Jason tell you what in the next compartment.
Okay, so the next compartment is pretty important on every engine, or in this case, a tower truck. We have our tool compartment. So this is where we keep all of our essential tools for firefighting. So if, like for me, I'm riding tailboard position, I'm in the back of the truck with all my gear on, we get on scene. It's my job to get out of the truck and come back to this compartment and get some of the tools I might need, whether it's fighting a fire or rescuing somebody. We have, you know, a big water can, which is a great big water fire extinguisher. We have our axes, our haligans, crowbars, shovels, anything we need like that.
Yeah, so I think next we'll talk about the cab and where we sit and what it looks like in there. So at least you'll know what it looks like to ride in a big tower truck. Let's go take a look at those. All right, to show you the inside of the tower truck, we figured we'd bring your camera right in so you can understand what we're doing when we actually operate this thing. So obviously this is a driver's position. We got the great big steering wheel just like any other big truck. And once we fire it up, I've got a bunch of switches here, and I can run all of the red lights from all of these switches up here. I just hit one and all the big red lights, and it turns on my siren so I can run the siren. And then I've got a couple more that I can actually run like scene lights from here. When we get on scene, I set brakes and I turn on other switches so that we can run the actual ladder and the fire pump. As we go, you can look back here. I got Firefighter Jason behind me, and he shows where the firefighters are actually sitting while we're traveling to go to that fire.
Yeah, so this is the back of the cab. If it's my job to be tailboard, as we're going to the fire, I get into the back of the truck here. You can see that these seats are built with air packs all in them. So it's my job to get in. I'll get in my seat. I'll get my air pack all on. I tighten up the straps, and then I even have to get my seat belt on, just like we all do when we're riding in our cars. So I get the pack on, and I buckle my seat belt, and then that way, when we get to the fire, I've got my pack all on, and I'll even take my mask, and I'll hook it up to my pack, so I am ready to go. All right, and I've got my flashlights here and everything. So when we get to the fire, I just pull that yellow cord and I can get right up out of my seat with my pack on and go to that tool compartment to get the tools.
And then we've got one more big special truck. It's called the squad truck, Squad 4. So we'll get out of this tower truck. I know this is the coolest one here, but we'll show you what that squad truck is all about. It's got hazmat, confined space, high angle training, and a whole bunch of metering stuff on it. So let's go take a look at that, Jason. I know you're in your monkey suit right now, but we'll get out.
Sounds good. What are you saying, John? Am I radioactive?
Oh, I think so. There's something wrong with you. No, we're just testing some stuff out. This is our hazmat truck. It's called a squad truck because it's got multi-purposes for it. So as you can see, we've got plenty of meters, and in here, this whole compartment is full of them. But Firefighter Jason and I will kind of give you a rundown of what this truck's all about, and then at least you know that it's in town, and it's an asset that actually the whole state, or even New England if they needed us, could call us up and go to another town for some sort of a hazmat or a confined space emergency.
Yeah, so we need all these special tools on this truck because here at Brunswick, we're not only firefighters and EMTs, paramedics, but this is a truck for us to use in hazmat situations. Hazmat is short for hazardous materials. So say like a bad chemical spill or something like that, we would get called and we would respond to it. And this truck has a lot of real specialty equipment, like this this meter that John was just using. So we can kind of use that to figure out if we do have a chemical spill, and if it is a chemical spill, how bad it is, and how do we clean it up, that kind of thing.
So in here, in this section of the truck, we have the same air pack seats, so in case we need them. But also, the biggest part of this research center is we've got a couple of these laptops. They're called Tough Books, what you see on that side, but they're used for researching. We can do a lot with them. But also in here, we have a weather center that will actually hook up, and we can set it up so the truck, or even on a tripod outside the truck, and we can see what the weather conditions are, which way the wind is blowing and how fast. And that reads right over by that window right there.
Right over here.
So that way, whoever's considered research can give the incident command or the chief or whoever's in charge an up-to-minute update of the temperature, the wind direction, and anything else that might be needed for the information on how to handle that situation. Also on these, it helps us to identify some of the other materials that like if a trailer truck crashes, we just go by the color of it. Is it bubbling? Is it making smoke clouds? We can type that information into these computers, and it'll help us decide what that chemical probably is and how to best handle it.
All right, so I want to show you this really cool compartment. This is where we keep all our rescue gear, like our rescue ropes and harnesses. So we'll take a look inside. So these doors roll up, and this has a set of steps that comes down, and Sparky, napping again. You know what? I think I'm just going to let him nap this time. Sweet dreams, Sparky.
So hopefully you enjoyed your tour at Emerson Station here at Cook's Corner today. We showed you the more unique trucks that we have, and then we hope you'll stay tuned and check out our next episode. Whatever we can come up with, that'll be cool.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah, bye for now.